Hey guys, for today's video I wanted to do a combo for surge and velocity. I feel like these lessons will apply to both of you guys, so I might as well just make one video instead of two this time around. So basically the lesson today is going to be on stage presence and etiquette. So one thing we always talk about with your dancing is presentation and showmanship. So you guys already know that you need to do like your facials and stuff, but the bigger thing, the bigger picture that the audience sees is your chest presence, and that will change the way you look, like with confidence and just presentation altogether. So if you're dancing and your shoulders are hunched forward and you're just kind of like shrugged, or like you can have your head up and be smiling with your shoulders like this, or you can present and be more like this, and it totally changes the whole outcome. So even if I'm like sad, like in my character, I can be sad like this, or I can be sad like this. So like my energy is still high, but I'm still like presenting, like, and I'm still sad. Like I still have the emotion. I still am combining those. Another really good thing is to notice is when you guys are on the floor. So I could be sitting like this, or I could be sitting like this. I could be like doing a dance move. So if I start up and I'm like sitting down, sitting like this, doing leg, sitting, or I could be sitting, 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 ha. There's just a huge difference in like the way you're holding yourself, and you need to remind yourself that you should be flexing your back. So like right here. So you should be trying to pinch your shoulder blades together the entire routine. So if the choreography is like telling you to drop your shoulders, that's one thing. If I'm like telling you like, hey, shrug and then roll up and down or whatever. But even usually with like something like that, I'm still gonna tell you, okay, now lift and drop. Like there's just a massive difference with body posture. Okay, so in hip hop, it's the same thing. It's like, a lot of people want to stay low and get like in your face, but even though I'm doing that, I still need to look cocky while doing it. So I'm low and in your face, but I'm still like presenting, okay? With jazz, it's even like, I feel like jazz is all about up here. So it's like, ha, ha, in your face all the time. Especially when you're doing like Alice Cones, Bot Mas, anything. Because I notice a lot of times you guys will do like a really pretty Bot Ma, and it will like whack your face, but your shoulders are just like blah. So you get this big pretty leg going whack, but then you like look like you're trying to kiss your leg, when really it should look like your leg is just aiming for your head, and you're like, nope, just kidding. Because you want that to come at you and almost look like it's like has compression or power right there to pull. Like it makes you look like you have a lot more control of what's happening when you resist versus when you just kind of like let it come. Let your body go. Same thing with leaps. I could choose to go leap, drop, or I could go leap, drop. Like I'm still lifted in that drop, if that makes sense. I hope this is making sense. So, presentation all the time throughout your whole dance. Pull when you're rolling and standing up. That's a massive one that I see flaws, and I think you guys all know that. So we don't want granny stand-ups. We want puppet stand-ups. So somebody has a string on your chest and they're pulling that string and making you lift. You have no choice but to follow that. Okay, so next thing, stage presence, is transitions. So whenever I'm doing a transition, I always want to make sure I am looking at my judges or my audience, no matter what. So if I'm running, or running, unless the choreography is turned to the side, and it's never turned to the back. And I never want to go, okay, I'm in my spot. Okay, I'm in my spot. No, you just have to like know where you're going. You're gonna use your peripherals and you're gonna like feel where other people are. So if I have a person standing right here, I'm in front of them and I need to travel backwards, I'm gonna just know that they're there and I'm gonna kind of feel the energy and I'm gonna move around them and then get to my spot for the next move. With choreography, I have very rarely seen somebody choreograph people running to the back. But if you do, you still need to stay lifted like you're facing the front. So your head can't be dropped. It still needs to be up because I can see from the back what you're looking at, where your aim is. So keep that up, keep it going. And just try to keep your presentation there as well with the runs or the transition or the rolls or whatever kind of transitioning you're doing. 90% of the time you're going to be standing up from the like a roll on the ground, and you're going to be facing either straight forward or you're going to be facing a side. Whichever way, you just need to be really lifted and be in that direction. So a lot of things in my routines, I have you guys doing a million transitions, and I do see a lot of like confusion and bumping into each other, and that means you guys are not being very aware of what's going on and where other people are. So you need to practice feeling the vibes of everybody, and then you also need to know like your direction and your transitional changes, okay? Lastly, I feel like these are like givens, but we're gonna do like do's and don'ts, okay? So I'm just gonna start listing some things, and I'm gonna tell you good or bad. So one thing I notice a lot on stage is final position. So your ending pose. You guys need to sit there, hit your pose, and hold it before you walk off stage. And then you need to do a good goodbye. So you like finish, and maybe it's a head nod, or maybe it's smile and walk away, or whatever your coach choreographs for you is what you need to make sure you're doing. You really don't want to like end and just run off stage, because then the judges are like, wait, is it over? Are they coming back? Like, they're gonna be confused. So you want to make sure you finish, you hold out your finish, make sure it's very clear that the dance is over, and then when it's over, that's when you get up and do your walk off. Now, like for jazz, I have it choreographed where you guys just walk off, but still there is an ending. My ending is clap down, and then we kind of breathe, turn around, and walk away. And that down is like the final. The walk off, it's still during the music, but it's still the end, like it's the walk off. So you still have to finish and then walk off, if that makes sense. With my hip hop routine, with Surge, you guys actually have an ending. We've choreographed that, you guys know. But again, you guys can't just like finish and then captain hurries and calls 5, 6, 7, 8. No, you need to finish, hold it, and then go 5, 6, 7, 8, and then follow your captain. So with that, you need to make sure you're paying attention to the timing on the ending. Okay, when you come out, as soon as you walk past the curtain or walk onto the dance floor, you are now being recognized for your presentation. So you always, always, always need some type of face. Whether you're walking on like my mechanics, you're gonna probably be walking on like, yeah, I'm ready to go, I got this game face on. But in my jazz dancers, you're gonna be more like, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to present, I'm gonna give you something exciting to watch. And that has to be as soon as the first foot hits the floor. So make sure as soon as the first foot goes, you're walking and you're got the energy, the confidence, the presentation in the chest, everything as soon as you go. Next thing is like with props. So when we are placing our props, we still need to have that presentation, like where I told you I don't want you to turn your back to the judges when you're doing a transition. Same thing, I want you to be walking on, have your prop, set it down. I'm gonna use this as an example. This is my prop, okay? We're walking on, we're going, I'm walking, I have a prop, so I need to go put it down. So instead of just going, whatever, okay? Bad, don't do that, that's naughty. I'm gonna come on with my prop, face the front, wait till it's time. I'm gonna set it down nicely where it needs to go. I'm gonna stand up and then I'm gonna walk to my spot. And this, if I do need to look at where I'm going, at this time I can look back, get into my spot, and then I can go. So I'm hoping that you see the difference between the two on what is proper and what isn't, because a lot of times I see the messy one and not the clean one, and I really want that cleaned up for when you go on stage and go off. Same thing when you're walking off. You need to go, you need to still be presenting, pick up your props. Like when you're in the process of actually grabbing the props, I'm not so worried about what you're looking at, where your body is. Pick it up, get them all as fast as you can. But then as soon as you're standing back up, you're standing up straight and you're ready to go and you're walking. And you're either, again, walking towards your judges or your body's facing the side and you're walking away with those props in your arms. Okay, one thing I have noticed too with stage presence is as soon as we go to our partner parts, we kind of lose all of it. And you guys need to remember that even though I'm now with, even though now I have people to go work with and I'm going to do a trick with them, I can't change my show. Like I'm showing the crowd something, and just because I'm going to go work with somebody does not change that. So I'm working with you and then all of a sudden I'm still working with you. And if I'm looking at you, I'm looking at you. I'm not, okay, let's do this. Like I don't collapse. It has to still be here. Still go, I'm still being presented. Because that's like my biggest flaw, especially with the Velocity's jazz. Woo, that's killer. As soon as you guys go into those lifts, I lose all of your body. Like everybody's body just kind of sinks and you just are like timid and scared, and you still need to have that confidence when going into those lifts. Surge, your guys' section of that is when you do your group lifts and you flip the people over you, and or like when Lakely is, when you're doing the middle part and you're bouncing, same thing. Like I just feel like you guys kind of like collapse and you kind of like are just whatever, but really it should be like ha ha ha, really energetic, instead of I'm collapsed and I'm down. So a couple more things. If my hair gets in my face or caught on my eyelash, like I don't move it, I don't touch it. If I have my rag and it falls on the ground, I leave it there. Unless I am rolling on the ground and it just so happens I can hurry and grab it in secret and shove it in my pocket, I do not touch it. I don't go for it. I don't do anything with it. I don't put it anywhere. If anything, I would rather you kick it off stage so it's out of the way, so nobody slips and falls on it as a safety hazard. But other than that, you should not touch your props. If they fall, leave it. Dance like it's in your hand. You're just gonna have to pretend once you lose it. But If your hair gets in your face, you deal with it. If your lipstick smears, you deal with it. If your shirt is like messed up, you deal with it, unless you can do it, like fix it without it being noticeable. That's the only time you should ever be able to do that. Like if you guys go into a clump and you're the person in the back, maybe hurry and like tuck your rag back in your pocket or something, or drop, like push down your skirt if it's like riding up. Like that's the only time, but you should be pretending like nothing's wrong the whole time. Like act like it's not even phasing you, just keep going. Dress malfunctions, like we had a dancer's top come undone and she freaked out in her solo, so she could leave and she could go get it fixed. You just have to be prepared to not have a malfunction. You need safety pins, you need Velcro, everything. You need it double secured before you even go out on that stage, so you do not have a dress malfunction. Basically, like, yeah, there's a chance of something like that happening, but you need to be mentally prepared to not let it affect your dance routine. You need to just be ready. Say, I know it's not gonna happen, I know it's not gonna fall apart, and I got this. Same with your hair. Your hair should be secured. Like if we have buns and somebody's bun falls out in the middle of a routine, that's docked points on showmanship. So you need to make sure everything is immediately secured, nothing's gonna fall off, and maybe like do a practice day with your costumes and your hair, so it doesn't fall out, because there should be zero excuses for anybody's hair falling out or anything like that. But if it does happen, because you know sometimes things happen, then you still just have to keep dancing. Like it's not even, like it doesn't even matter. I have seen so many dancers like grab somebody else's prop because it fell down, or pick up somebody's hairband that fell out of their hair, like, or try to fix their hair out of their face, or pull their wedgie out. Like, do not do that. You should not be touching anything. You are dancing. Once you're on that stage, you are performing. You do not touch your looks. You are as is once you hit that stage. So just be prepared beforehand so you don't have to stress when you're on stage. One thing I've had happen in the past is my shoes have fallen off. And I know that's crazy, but it does happen, and it sucks. And if you're wearing tights, it's gonna be really slippery. So if like your gore boot or your shoes fall off halfway, I would recommend taking them off and just like getting them out of the way, like if you can, or fixing and putting it back on in the middle of the dance if you can. But if you're wearing tights, it makes the floor more slippery, so I think that's more dangerous. So I wouldn't recommend you trying to put your gore boots, like taking them off. I don't want you to touch your shoes, but like if your shoe is halfway off and it's flopping around, it's gonna bring my attention as a judge to you, and I'm gonna be staring at your shoes the whole time, or your foot the whole time. Like any chance you get to hurry and just like hook it back on, like your heel, I would say hurry and fix it. But if you're just doing too much dancing to where you don't have a second to fix it, just leave it. Because the judge isn't gonna say, you look awful because of your dance shoe the whole time. They might make a note like, uh-oh, secure your shoe. But they're not gonna say, that looked awful the whole dance. Like, you should have fixed that. They're not gonna say that. So when a shoe falls off, it's kind of like, that's something I would want you to fix, because it's a hazard if you slip and fall on your face in the middle of your dance routine. But I also don't want you putting focus on, like, if you can continue dancing and you have that mistake happening down there, and then I would just highly recommend you just keep going. And then I just want a reminder, like, again, if anything falls off and is in the middle of the dance floor, your job as a dancer, for safety reasons, needs to grab that prop or kick that prop out of the way, so nobody has the potential of slipping and falling on it. If we have tumblers and they're running to do a tumbling sequence and they don't see that there's something on the floor and they slip and get really injured, that would be terrible. So I would rather see you take half a second to kick whatever is happening off the stage and out of the way, or just move it out of the way, than allow a potential injury. So safety always comes first when it comes to props or anything like that. So you guys got to keep your heads up with that kind of thing. Ultimately, I expect you to have a good control on every single prop that you have. Hairpiece, hair tie, wristbands, so not like shoes. I want everything secure and ready to go. Of course, things happen, but I expect it not to happen. So as a comp team, you need to be mentally prepared for all of that. Okay, so that's kind of like my lesson for you guys today. I know it's kind of like not so much to practice. I definitely think it'll help you guys be more prepared for when you go on stage. Just a few tips and things to keep considering before you go out there. But yeah, so your homework is go show somebody what stage presence is supposed to be like. Maybe do a funny video of what not to do versus what to do. Like, that would be so silly to see you guys make some funny videos or something like that. So that could be something fun to do. That'll keep your energy going. But keep running your dance routines. We got to keep them up. Keep those energies going. Okay? All right, I'll see you guys later.